So you found that dream house in France, you've now agreed a price with the vendors. What's the next step? Next step is transferring funds over for the purchase. What's the best way forward? How's the best way to do it? This is things we're going to be discussing with a friend of mine, Steve Eakins. Hello Steve, would you like to introduce yourself and your company?
Hi Dan, thanks for having me. Well, my name is Steve and I work at a firm called Lumon, and we're widely seen as the French property currency specialists. So we've been helping people move money and manage currency risk for over 23 years, and in that time we've probably helped in excess of 8,000 French property completions, so a load of experience. We've got in-country teams, bilingual teams, we've got notaire-approved RIBs, and a number of services and processes that we have specifically designed for the French buying and selling market.
For anyone buying a house here in France, where do you come in and what are the advantages of working with someone like you compared to a high street bank?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of differences between ourselves and the traditional banking market. Ultimately, if we couldn't save clients funds, save clients money, we wouldn't be in existence. But over and above that, we have a number of tools enabling clients to manage that currency risk. An example of that is that they can buy funds and hold funds pending the onward transfer, whereas if you were to traditionally go to the French bank or the UK bank, they'd need to have a destination account for the funds to be sent through to. And that can make all the difference with the market moving as much as it does in that traditional 3 to 6 month buying period that it takes in France.
Your company could also be used by XAT Vendors. So what advantages do they have by going with someone like yourself?
Absolutely right. Yeah, here we've helped clients for that duration of time initially buy, make all the smaller international payments thereafter, from pension payments to putting in a pool, extending the property, all the way to clients selling perhaps and returning back to the UK for whatever reason. From a vendor perspective, we're definitely there to help, and we can definitely add value and save money and time. And this is because we've got notaire approved French RIBs, which are SCI compliant. We can buy and sell the funds when the client instructions, widening that trading value or trading time that they've got. Equally, we've got bilingual teams which make the process super easy and quick to engage with the notaires to make sure there aren't any problems. But in essence, this is all built in a way to add value, save money, and save costs that you might incur going through the traditional banking process.
At Agence Newton, we've historically dealt with British and French buyers. These days, though, we're getting more and more Americans coming in, expat British from Hong Kong or Australia, for example. I know that you can trade in a lot of currencies and also a lot of countries, but are there any countries where you can't transfer to or from? And if so, which ones are they?
Yeah, correct. Here we trade in excess of 55 different currencies. We can help clients from the US to Australia to Argentina to Mexico and anywhere and everywhere in between, really, to be honest. So the only things that stop us are the banks. So obviously we can't service clients that are in war zones, for example, but in 99% of cases we can help that client, yes.
So that's the basics, but you do a lot more things than just transferring funds from a sale. Can you quickly summarise the different services that you offer for either a buyer or seller?
Well, with regards to additional services, again, we're the French property currency specialists. From a currency perspective, that means that we've got a number of tools. Perhaps an example would help. So one of which is called a forward contract. That in essence is a buy now, pay later option. So it allows people to lock in the exchange rate when they perhaps start that process. And we helped a client do exactly this earlier on in the year. So the compromis de vente was signed and they locked in the exchange rate at that point. In essence, when they budgeted to buy that property at that cost, 3 months later when the completion came round, the exchange rate had actually fallen. So it meant if they hadn't done it, it would have been more expensive, in essence to a degree of nearly 40,000 euros when we did the calculation for them. So they were incredibly happy, as well as meaning they had a lot less sleepless nights than they would have otherwise if they were worried about the exchange rate going against them.
A lot of our viewers remember the Northern Rock closure.
10 years ago the Northern Rock crash happened.
And since then they've also been very wary of using an unknown financial body. Could you set their mind at rest and explain to them why they should have no worries about using a company like Lumon?
Yeah, security is key here, of course, and moving the kind of sizes of volumes of money that we move, security is very, very key. We're regulated both by the Financial Conduct Authority and authorised by the Bank of Ireland, so that means that we can service and look after clients independent of where they're resident following Brexit. So if you're a French resident or a UK resident, we are regulated in a way to help. This in essence means that all clients' funds are held in a segregated account, so they're very secure, meaning that if we were to not be here tomorrow, the auditors could come in and quickly identify whose funds are whose very, very simply. And it's one of the higher regulations that you can get in our industry.
So there you have it, foreign currency exchange in a nutshell. I'd like to thank Steve Eakins for his time, and hopefully his explanations have clarified a lot of things for you. Any last words, Steve?
Thank you very much for having me.
So if you'd like to save money on transfers to or from France, well, don't go and speak to your cousin John down at the local bank.
Who is John?
Talk to the French property specialists. Talk to Lumon. And me being me, I've made this simple for you. There's an affiliate link down in the text below, possibly on the screen if I get it sussed. And just click that and you'll be able to book up a no obligation talk to one of their sales teams who can actually discuss things in detail in your particular case. If you do use the link and go via Lumons for your money transfers, I will get a small commission out of it. But it's a nice way of buying me a beer at the end of the day. And always, if you got this far into the video, i.e. near the end,
I think I know what you're going to say.
don't forget to click that like, subscribe and bell buttons down there. Makes me feel good and boosts me onto another video. See you soon.